So look, if we got a golf expert on the Pete Sousa show, it's this guy. It's Mike Barton. Not necessarily his game, although that continues to evolve, but he's got a great knowledge of the sport. He's constantly watching golf. You can ask his wife. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it. My favorite week of the year.
So this is your favorite week of the year, and you know his official name is Mike Barton Jr., but we're going to call him Murph because that's what everybody else calls him. Going into Augusta, Murph. So Scotty Scheffler has won 2 of his last 3 starts on the PGA Tour. Is he your, like, heading into the tournament, is he your favorite?
For sure. He has to be. He's been playing head and shoulders above everybody else. If his putter shows up even average, he should win by a couple strokes.
So when
he's putting up ball striking numbers that we haven't seen since Tiger's heyday.
So when you look at the board, you look at the odds. So
I hate his odds. I think he's 4-1 the last I saw.
Yeah, he's plus 450 right now. I'm looking at.
Yeah, I mean that's tough. But he's far and away the favorite. He's the best golfer there this week.
Whose odds do you like the best? Like I was reading, John Rahm is plus 1,200 to repeat.
I mean, I like to mess around in that like 25-1 to 40-1 category. I think there's, it's more fun. There's guys in that range that can definitely win. There's a better payout. A couple guys I like this week are Hideki Matsuyama, and I really like Shane Lowry this week. I think he's maybe 40-1 the last I saw.
It's 50-1 now.
50-1, yeah. So I think that's good value. Throw a couple bucks on that if he wins. It's a good win.
All right, so talk to me about Tiger. Everybody wants to know. I read earlier, Will Zalatoris played a practice round with him yesterday, 9 holes, and Will says he looks phenomenal. Do you buy into that? Is there a scenario where Tiger is in the hunt on Saturday?
I mean, I don't think so. But Augusta seems to be the type of place where guys who are past their prime have come back in the past and won into their late 40s. Jack Nicklaus did it. I think Freddie Couples might have done it, or he certainly contended. And if anybody can do it, it's Tiger. I mean, he certainly knows his way around Augusta, and he has all the shots. He has the ability. I think the problem for him is just the recovery. It's a very difficult walk, really hilly. And I don't know if he can string 4 days together in a row on his ankle and his back.
What do you think about like the rust? I was hearing today, I think it was Rich Lerner was saying like he hasn't finished 72 holes of golf, but like twice in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's got to be tough for him to come in there against all these young guys. I mean, all the best players now are in their mid to early 20s, and he's kind of hobbling around. He's got to have some rust, but it's Tiger Woods. So it's definitely not impossible. And I would love it if he was in contention on Sunday. And I'm pretty sure everybody else would too.
Brooks Koepka and Cam Smith, they've both really kind of flirted with winning Augusta. Which one of those, if you had to pick one of the two, do you think breaks through?
It's so hard to say. I mean, I think you can never count Brooks out. He's not coming in good form. He's been playing poorly in the live events, but Brooks is kind of known for that. He seems to only care about 4 golf tournaments a year, and those are the majors. So, on one hand, it's hard to bet on him because he's been playing so bad, but it's Brooks Koepka and he shows up every time. Cam Smith has had success at Augusta. His putting numbers there are through the roof. I think he's number 1 in putting over the last 4 or 5 years. But I get the sense that I can't tell if he really likes golf or he just he's not grinding. I think he's living life and enjoying all the money he got when he signed there. He's not going to be on my betting card this week. So I would say Brooks Koepka is a better bet.
Now, that brings up a really interesting point. Do you feel like some of the guys who have signed with Liv maybe have lost their teeth a little bit, like as far as – and then you talk about the Tiger scenario where, like, in his case it's rust, but even these guys maybe, now you're talking about flipping a switch possibly, right, if you're a guy like Cam Smith or like you mentioned he could be.
That's what the guys from the PGA Tour talk about all the time. The guys on the Golf Channel, they're constantly throwing shots at the live guys, saying, "Hey, these guys play 54 hole tournaments. They're shotgun starts. They're not, they're not grinding it out like these guys on the PGA Tour. So they're going to come in at a disadvantage." But in the last couple majors, the live guys have done very well. So it's hard to say if that's true or not. They certainly have a lot of talent on the live tour, and some of those guys seem really hungry. Jocko Neiman, who I think is a great pick this week. Sergio seems like he's on fire. I think he really wants to prove a point and make some noise this week. Koepka, obviously, Patrick Reed. He's the ultimate competitor. The only two guys that I'm not so sure about are DJ and Cam Smith. I think both of them are just kind of enjoying being on boats in Florida and fishing with their buddies and hanging out. But they could prove me wrong this week. They're both incredibly talented golfers.
Well, I was lucky enough to have Charlie Belgian on the Payoff podcast about, the pod I do about sobriety. But what he said about live golf, the one thing that I took from that, whether you agree or disagree, he felt strongly about live, and he was really disappointed with the PGA. But he was so passionate about it. And I think that whatever side you're on as a golfer, you have a real passionate take. Do you believe that can play into this weekend at all, like creating tension at all?
I mean, I think the live guys have something to prove because the media is certainly taking the side of the PGA Tour.
So are you.
What's that?
So are you. You like the tour.
Well, I don't really care about either way. I just wish all the best golfers were playing in the same events all the time. Golf is a niche sport as it is, and now we're watering it down even further. It's a tough watch. I mean, they have music on in the background. It just seems like kind of a clown show to me. I'm not anti-live. I don't blame those guys for taking the money. It's a lot of money that most of them were offered. I hope that golf can unite and all these guys can get back to playing in the same events more than just the four majors.
So you talk about majors and you talk about this weekend. Is there a guy, I love what you talked about, you mentioned with Brooks. I mean, clearly with him, I mean, just for me, like an average fan, not even going ahead and watching the Netflix documentary. What's that called again? What's that? Something Drive, open, whatever. Anyways,
F1 something Drive.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called.
So, anyways, Brooks is awesome. I think his wife is obviously very cute, which doesn't hurt to watch. But then you talk about he is very open and honest about his struggles mentally. Like golf is a game that you play it all the time, right? It's a total head game. You say that he's struggling coming into Augusta. Who else have you noticed that between the years it hadn't been happening for them leading up to a major like this?
That's a tough question. I mean, Justin Thomas really struggled last year, the worst year of his career. He seemed like he got it together at the kind of the fall of 23, kind of the beginning of the 24 season. The first 6 events, he played great. The last couple events have not gone well. He just fired his caddy, Bones.
He just did that, right?
He just did that last week. So he's got a new caddy on the bag, guy that used to caddy for Patrick Cantlay. And I don't know. He doesn't seem like, I'm not around him, but he doesn't seem like he's in a great place. Other than that, I think there's so many guys that have a chance this week. It's hard for me to rule anybody out.
So who's rolling in? Like who's coming in like on a heater?
Matsuyama's really on a roll. Jordan Spieth has been showing a little couple signs of life recently, and you can never count him out at Augusta. I think he's had 6 top 4s in his last 10 Masters, which is unheard of. The guy he plays great at Augusta. Rory's been on a real heater. He went to see his swing coach, Butch Harmon, this past week, and everybody's all excited about that. Butch has a great reputation. People, I don't think, knew that Rory went to see him sometimes. He played really well at the Valspar down in Texas, and this is his ninth chance to complete the Grand Slam, and he's coming in good form. I'm definitely putting some money on Rory this week.
Well, what do you know
And
about?
then, like I said, Shane Lowry's my guy. He's been playing great all spring. He's won a major before. His odds, for a guy like me, I love taking 40, 50 to 1. And I listened to an interview with him the other day, and he was talking about how he found something in his swing over the winter that he's really loving. And when I hear a golfer say that, that means something. He's coming in with some confidence. He has great hands around the green, great short game. Like, I think he's had some success at Augusta. So I think everything's lining up well for him.
What about Jon Rahm? They talk about the week leading up to the event itself. It's like a lot. You get spread pretty thin. You host the Champions Dinner. There's a lot of commitments. Yeah. It's hard to repeat at Augusta.
Very hard. I'm not going to be betting on Rahm, but the guy's the ultimate competitor. He's top 2-3 player in the world for sure right now. I think he has a lot to prove after leaving for LIV. I think he broke a lot of hearts on the PGA Tour when he left. And I think Jon Rahm really plays his best when he has a chip on his shoulder. And I think he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder like, hey, don't forget about me just because I went to LIV. So if Rahm top fives, it will not be a surprise to me at all.
All right, a couple quick ones for you. Is Tiger still is he abstinent right now? Do you buy that leading up no, to the Masters?
That's definitely a social media rumor.
That's not. You don't believe that's true?
No.
All right. What about?
I saw some meme on Twitter that it was Phil Mickelson saying, if Tiger really is abstinent right now, tell all the hookers in Georgia to watch out on Saturday when he misses the cut.
All right. What about? So here's some of the things I came across. Getting ready to talk to you about this. Are you aware that CBS they pump in bird sounds for the tournament?
You know what? I think I did hear that.
Yeah.
That's kind of surprises me.
Yeah, here's another thing I found out. Do you know the water? It's so beautiful. I guess they put dye in it, like food coloring.
Yeah.
You've heard that? And that's true because a dude who I guess got a chance to play it, he took like a vial of the water and had it tested. And that's how they found out. Yeah.
He'll never play there again.
How about the fact that they freeze the azaleas? We know that, right? All winter long, so they're in full bloom. Here's a couple other things. I'm going to play a little game with you. This will be quick. So, Price is Right as far as Augusta is concerned. Palmetto cheese, the sandwich, is it over or under $3?
Under.
Yeah, it's $1.50. The most expensive thing at the event, food-wise, is $3. Barbecue sandwich, a chicken wrap, and a chicken sandwich. I would probably get the chicken wrap. I love wraps.
They don't need the money, Pete.
No, they don't. All right, is a beer over or under $5?
Under.
Over $6.
Okay.
And wine is $6 as well. It's up from last year. All right, so at the end of it, Murph, as we head in, you like Scheffler to win. If somebody said, "Hey, who is going to win?" It's Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, I mean, if you put a gun to I'm not going to bet on him, like I said, because I don't like his odds. But he is by far the best player in the sport of golf right now. He's coming in on an absolute heater. I think he's won 3 of his last 4 events. He's just hitting the ball like nobody else. Nobody's even close to him. Even the other pros on tour are like, there's nothing we can do when he's on.
Does Megan know like this is an important week to you and like weekend?
Yes.
And like she knows kind of like it's the Masters. Like I'm not gonna ask Murph to
leave Dad alone on Sunday afternoon.
Do you think you'll have to do stuff on Friday and Saturday?
I don't know. Probably not. Megan's pretty easy going.
But Megan, like last weekend was her big weekend. She was celebrated for all the work she did at the golf club, right?
And she celebrated hard.
She celebrated. So now you would think if she's going to be a good teammate, this is your weekend.
100%. I'm going to have her listen to this pod.
All right. If there's one person that we are not talking about right now that will make the cut and will have an impact, one guy we haven't discussed, or maybe it can be somebody we have. Who does nobody know about that after this weekend?
I think like if you're looking for a sleeper, it's Siwoo Kim. I saw a stat from Kyle Porter at CBS. 10 of the last 12 Masters winners have been at 1.7 strokes gained, tee to green or better in the 3 months leading into the Masters. And most of that list are all the guys you would expect: Scheffler, Neiman, Schauffele, Rahm, Matsuyama, McIlroy, and Justin Thomas. Siwoo Kim sneaks in there at 1.8. He just top fived at the Players. I think he's a good sleeper if somebody's looking for. He's a great ball striker, and that's what you need to be at Augusta if you're going to have success.
How many pools will you be in? 1, 2, 3?
I'll be in one pool. That's a big pool. It's hard to win, and then I'll probably just spread a little money on a bunch of different futures.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by the way, you've made history. You're like Larry Brown was the only guy to win a college and NBA championship. You're the only guy that's been on the Payoff Pod and the sports iteration of the Pete Sousa
Grand
Show.
Slam. The Grand Slam.
All right, yo, Murph, that's it, dude. Anything else?
No, that's it.
You were absolutely dynamite.
Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Yeah, we're going to have you on before every major. Before every major or until they tell me to stop coming here.
All right, next time. Next time I'll do a little more homework. I'll come prepared.
No, that was great. You were really prepared. It was awesome. I'll try to check you out on 4th D later on.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Great job.
Later.
We are Rogue Media Sports.